Yo, what is good, people? It's your boy Mo, the Hoop Genius. You know what it is. I'm out here. You know, it's, what day is it today? It's the 15th of August. It's 6:30 in the morning. NBA2K20 is coming out on the 6th of September. But the great people at 2K have once again blessed me with the opportunity to get an early hands-on look at NBA2K20. They've flown me out all the way to LA. I'm staying in Beverly Hills, doing up, you know, I've got the white gown, doing up bougie. I never thought I'd be staying in Beverly Hills. Man like me in Beverly Hills, you know.
Hey! I waited for this sign a long time. I'm here, mama made it. Aye.
Last year we had like an early look, but it was only Lakers versus Warriors, whereas this year we get to play the entire game except for my team and neighborhood, because obviously servers need to be up for those kind of things. But you know, I'm super excited. I'm super excited. I just want to say a huge thank you to the people at NBA 2K.
I appreciate you.
They always take care of me. They're great people and a great game, and I'm not even saying that because they've taken me out here and whatnot. It's because I genuinely mess with NBA 2K every day of my life. Like, you know, you can ask the man them, my boys will tell you they come to my house and get smoked almost every day. So if you think you got to smoke and you think you can beat me at 2K20, drop your PS4 gamer thingies down below, or Xbox. I might even cop an Xbox if enough people want to get beaten, but that's that. You know, we got here last night, went for dinner at a restaurant called Toca Madera.
You know what today is. Taco Tuesday, we're for you. I'm blessed today that I found you, baby.
Mexican vibes. It was very nice. A big change from my usual, you know, chicken and chips, you know, the wing strips burger and all of them things there.
Wings and that.
Yeah, come, we're gonna check this out. Fam, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. This is your first look at NBA 2K20, and you know me, you know I had to kick it off with the Boston Celtics going up against Dallas Mavericks, because obviously they've got Luka and they've included a lot of his moves in this year's game, so I wanted to see what they're like. Got the game going here, just trying to get to grips with it. The first thing I noticed is the joystick on defense is very sensitive. The smallest of touches will make your player's feet move, which has made the game even more realistic. 2K have done a lot in the motion engine to make the movements more realistic. You see that Luka drag back, that signature move there. Fortunately, Gordon Hayward managed to get a hand in his face, get a stop there. And if you look at Kemba, you can just see how good the handles are this year, because now every time you pull off a handle move, as he drives into the paint, draws the defense, and Tatum hits the three. Now, every time you use the pro stick, the skill stick if you would, you can just see right here that it's individual moves crafted together. So you're going to have to practice on that rather than in previous editions where it was kind of doing it a bit for you. This one's more specific as to the moves that you want to do. You've got to really focus on making those correct movements with the joystick. On defense, as you can see, Cantor just turns around when you move him back. You can't really backpedal that much. You have to kind of stay close to your player. That's what I found so far as I was getting to grips with it. And it's interesting that they forced the ball to Luka a lot of times early here, because they recognize that mismatch going up against Gordon Hayward, who isn't the best defender, but who can throw it down, because the first steps on this year's game are a lot quicker than ever before. Now notice under Luka right here, there is an orange bar that comes up. Now that is the defensive system that they've put in for this season, and it's an indicator which suggests when to shift or cut off or steal. So it's up to you to read and react and decide how you're going to make the stop. Look at this here, Marcus Smart off the ball. Right now I've got Kemba selected. You see how Smart gets through that screen, manages to make it to his man, The movements are so realistic as to how he would move. Moving around screens, as you see it again, he will evade Kristaps Porzingis. He wasn't the best screen in the world, but the movements off the ball and the off-ball defense is a lot better than ever before. And you'll see here, I'm going to run offensive set just to see what happens. It's a simple pick and roll, but they've done double screen, which has led to two options. I've got Jalen in the corner, and you can see Langford at the top getting open. So the AI and the off-ball movement of players you're not controlling has really stepped up. For people that are hoopers, people who know about basketball, this is really going to, I personally think, better for you. And the defense is better there. You can see that they noticed Kemba got hot. They double teamed him. To be fair, out of all my friends, it's easier to play my friends than the AI. As you can see, Jalen, I followed the markers there to cut off the dribble, but you won't be able to hold on to that square button and press it repeatedly. Otherwise, you will get called for a foul. You have to be more selective. So I just got to grips with the game in that first quarter with the Boston Celtics. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It took some getting used to. As you can see, I'm locked in right here. 2K have added a bunch of new rosters, you know, kind of the old classic teams to the game. They've also added the WNBA. But the biggest thing for me is the decades rosters. As you can see here, I've got the 2010 All-Stars going up against the 90s All-Star, which is absolutely fantastic. We get things going, and I'm forgetting what I learned in the first game with that James Harden turns around, but then I used the indicators to cut off Jordan's dribble and managed to make the defensive stop against arguably one of the best teams of all time. You can see here again the passing lanes. Before, if you're looking at 2K19, that ball, I would have tried to dive after it. My player might have caught it, but he would have drove into the crowd. Here, they get it smoothly so that Kawhi can throw it down in transition. Look at that. I'm glad Kawhi didn't go to the Lakers because Anthony Davis on the assist. But we move, we got Melo, good old Melo, you know, people forget how good he used to be. Sets up the defender with a crossover before throwing it down over the help defender. Players that used to be good, D Rose, I use the control stick to use that sham guard as he gets to the rack and throws it down as well. It's great to see some of these guys. I miss watching these guys tear it up on the court. Now we're going for some signature moves. Look at the Harden step back. He doesn't make this one, but it is the most realistic I've ever seen a video game. Even the size up moves here, you can see that his escape dribble right there was like watching James Harden play in real life. I had a great time, especially playing with these decade teams. As you can see, it leads to some great free-flowing, open, fast-paced basketball. So, you know, if you've got the guys around you just chilling, throwing it down with Dwight Howard, might see that this season. But most importantly for me, the motion engine upgrades are absolutely fantastic. Now, possibly the most talked about bit of NBA 2K20 is the MyPlayer mode. You can scan your face in as usual. I just had a little play around to create someone who looked nothing like me at all. There's not even a beard on there. I need to put some respect to my beard and get that in there. But you see, last year I had a power forward. He dominated. This year, your skills breakdown, it's done on pie charts like this. There are 4 categories. Whatever one you choose, you get different ratings on different stats. As you can see for the physical build, it's a similar thing with the 4 categories as well. You're then given 405 attribute upgrades, which you can determine which categories you want to max out and your full potential as a player. You can also determine your body build, your height, your wingspan as usual. But be careful, because nowadays I've found that in 2K20 the heavier players don't do so well. You can also choose your own takeover so that when your player gets red hot, you can choose which skills to zone in on. The best part about this is that you can actually test your MyPlayer. You can choose the rating, so whether you want to test them at full capacity or you want to test what they'll be like when you first start out. You assign the badges. Now, I'm not even going to talk too much about the badges. There's a crazy number of badges. My guy JD Crossover, I know my guy DBG, they're 2 fantastic 2K YouTubers. So if you want to know more about badges and stuff, go to JD. If you want to know more about the My Team stuff, I know my boy DBG will have a ton of videos coming your way. But anyway, I've got warmed up here with the Celtics, of course, against the Warriors. My player can shoot it, but every time I try to move, he's moving mad slow. So I think this year I'm not going to go with another power forward like I did last year when I brought some glory to the lowly Phoenix Suns. This year I decided to change mine up, change all my stats. So I'm not going to go into that too much. I'll let you guys play around for yourself. I ended up going with a more realistic build of me, 6'3" point guard. I tested it out against the Warriors. I played for the Clippers this time because, you know, didn't want to disrespect my boy Kemba like that. So once I'd had to play around with it, found that I had an all-round player because I was getting a ton of dimes, a ton of points. So once I was happy with the player that I had, I then got straight into the MyCareer mode. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys too much about the story, but here it is. This is where it's set. It starts at your college, university team, and you come out and you start playing for them in what appears to be a conference finals or something of the sort. I went absolutely off in my first game. I think I ended up with 20-something points, but the biggest surprise for me was when I got subbed out in garbage time. The coach on the bench was none other than the one and only Mr. Idris Elba. Now, you see, for me, I watched the Fast and Furious film with Idris in on Monday. I then flew to LA, and on the plane I watched the entire season 5 of Luther, so which was more Idris. And then I got to the event and Ronnie showed us the trailer and it was more Idris. I thought, this guy's following me, I don't know what's going on, but it's absolutely dope. He might not be James Bond, but I'd rather be in a 2K game than be in a James Bond film. So I'm not going to go into too much of the story because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. You guys want to go through that yourselves, you can, but you can also skip all of the cutscenes. I know in previous models of 2K, people have been frustrated that you couldn't skip the cutscenes, but this one, you can skip right through. Now, after the game finishes, it shows you how many badge points you've earned, how much VC you earned, and how many My points you've earned. The other thing is, whilst you're playing, I don't know if you noticed, the page is going quite quick, but you can actually see your badges being worked on. You can then go in and earn more upgrades and apply them to your player in which aspects of their game you want to improve. You then, I've skipped all of the storyline for you, you get to the draft combine, you do a series of workouts. There's a lot of jump shooting, a lot of different agility tests, a lot of different strength and fitness tests. So it's a very, very realistic experience. I think LeBron James and Maverick Carter, LeBron James probably more so on the player side, and then Maverick on the off-court kind of deals that go on in this. I don't want to, like I keep saying, I don't want to give too much away, but this game is so dope. I really want you guys to just try it and enjoy it without having watched what happens beforehand. I just want you guys to know how sick it is, so then you can make your own decisions in your career, grind through it, get your stats up. But I really enjoyed the draft combine because it's probably as close as I'll ever get to taking part in the NBA draft. I'm a bit too old now at 24. I don't think they'll want me with my bad knees. But you know, as you can see, we're just going through the draft combine, getting reps up, trying to get a few results to move my way up in the draft. It shows you where you're projected. You start off as undrafted, and throughout doing these workouts, and there's a few open scrimmages, etc., you manage to work your way up to what could potentially be one of the top picks. Another dope thing about this is you can choose your shoe brand before you actually start your career or show your interest in a brand. So that's exciting for a sneakerhead like me. I know they've got so many kicks featured in here. Your player can be dripped out whenever they're on the court. You then, depending on where you're ranked, you see which teams are interested in you, and it gives you the ability to pick 3 teams that you want to work out with. So obviously, naturally, Boston Celtics were my first choice. I then had to pick another 2, and I thought, well, Zion's on the Pelicans, I might throw up some good lobs to him. And another team that would be fun to run with, I didn't really know, I could have picked anyone, so I decided to end up with the Dallas Mavericks. My boys Luka and Kristaps there. So once that's done, you can then, if you've earned enough, add a few more progressions to your player, or you can just continue on to your workouts with the teams. So I got to my workout with the Celtics. Looking back on it, it was a terrible decision on my part. Not because there's anything wrong with the Celtics or the game, it's because time was running out and I barely had enough time to squeeze in my first workout. I couldn't make it all the way to the draft, so I spent the entire flight home, I spent the entire next day and a few days after that itching to carry on and play more 2K20. So by the time this video is out, the demo will be out, so make sure you head onto the online store of the console of your choice or PC, because one of my followers on IG, my boy Omar, shouted me and said show some love to the PC gamers. So shout out to you guys as well on any console. Go and download the demo. I want to say a huge thank you to 2K UK, the whole 2K team, for flying me out here for this. It was a fantastic experience. Like, I can't express how honoured I am to be one of the first people to play this game before everyone else. The realness of this game, the feel, like real hoopers will know. I know the real hoopers out there will be able to feel, especially for me, like I said before, you know, coming off the pick and rolls, you got a lot more control over what the player's doing rather than it feeling less video gaming. It's more realistic, which is a vibe that I really like. Obviously the new teams that are included, bro, there's so much that I've got to do with this game. We're gonna be making some cool 2K content for you as well this season. I already know how many hours I'm gonna be spending on 2K20. It's gonna be crazy. Like I said last year, when this game drops, nobody texts me because I'm not replying, I'm playing. So drop your gamer tags down below, or whatever the PS4 equivalent is. I don't know what they're called. Someone tell me what they're called. Hit the subscribe button. Most importantly, above anything else, as always, get buckets.